Well, there was nobody streaming Destiny that I follow on Twitch at all, so I mean, not that it wouldn't have yelled at me already, but
No. Where is he? Friends. Is he under friends? There he is. He's playing synced. So if I send him a message, how do I send him a message? Chat. That'd be the one.
that's a great question.
Allow. Yes, allow.
There you go.
Let's see if he responds. Waiting for him to join. He's not going to answer this. He's going to suddenly pop in here, isn't he?
Mm-hmm. Likely. Very, very likely.
One extremely annoying shift later.
Why can't I force myself in the chat with him? Can I not just drag and drop him into drag and drop into?
Is he in the Discord somewhere else, or is he in?
No, it's just that it shows that he's
Okay.
online. I'm just thinking, does that work? If I just pull him across?
No, I don't think you're the admin of Steam, just of the Discord. If he was in the Discord, you could probably grab him and move him around, but I don't think you can reach into Steam and grab him.
I'll just send him. Oh, hang on. Has he responded? No, I haven't ended the chat. Nitedemon has ended voice chat. No, I didn't end the voice chat. Oh, that's mine.
You have been ended.
No, that's not working. All right,
Prime.
I'm going to ring him.
Prime content.
Ring, respawn. It's ringing across many miles.
An entire ocean, even.
Oh, hello.
Yes.
Hello, caller. You are live on Two Titans and a Hunter.
No, I'm not. You have no way of putting this through the show.
Peroty can definitely hear you.
Yeah, I can absolutely hear you.
No, you can't.
Sure can. Through the magic of radio.
Yeah, through the magic of radio, he can definitely hear you, and so can the listeners. Are we going to be hearing you in real life?
No, I'm actually working. They sent me here on Thursday.
It says you're playing. It says you're playing.
Huh?
It doesn't say you're working. It says you're playing a game.
No, it says there's a game on my hotel room monitor, but I'm not there.
Okay.
No. Today's a work day. Tomorrow's a work day. Martin Luther King Day is a work day. And then I might get lucky enough to go home Tuesday or Wednesday. Tuesday or Wednesday.
They're all made up days. You've just said made up days.
So where is our roving reporter
Today and
this
tomorrow
week?
are made up days? Well, I mean, yes, every day is made up, considering how time is an arbitrary construct that man made. So, I mean, Sure.
Where are you calling in live from, caller?
I'm not calling in live. You called me.
I know, but where are you? We want to know where you are.
A place called Taliaferro, Georgia. It is the backwoods of Georgia. I'm actually surprised I got enough of a signal to talk to you, because when I talk to people on the phone, they can't hear me.
Well, everyone can hear you now.
Yeah. They didn't have the power of the British Empire behind them.
But I do have to get back to work. So I am sorry I couldn't come in today. I was already working for the last few hours, and I completely forgot that I needed to contact y'all. But yeah, no, I'm not available today or any day until at least Wednesday.
I don't remember seeing a PTO right now.
All right. Sorry about that. But y'all all know, everybody knows that if I could be there, I would.
Yeah, but I had to remind you, so you wouldn't have been here.
Well, because I couldn't. Duh. And now my trainee is looking at me weird because he doesn't know what the hell I'm talking about. So I'm going to get back to work before somebody says something silly.
Okay. Speak to you later.
Does your trainee play Destiny too? Would they like to be on the show?
I don't think his trainee knows anything about it. Bless him. Actually, who gave him a trainee? That's the question.
People have made many questionable decisions. Just because he is a Hunter Master Ranger doesn't necessarily mean he doesn't know what he's doing for a day job.
I suppose
these are two totally different things.
Well, I suppose we better start the show then, if it's just us.
Those we must.
Welcome to Two Titans and a Hunter, a Destiny 2 podcast. Dedicated in bringing you all the latest information, news, and opinions. This is the best show for new and veteran Guardians alike, where we share tips, tricks, and tools to help you succeed and enjoy playing even more. So with all that said, let me hand you over to your hosts, the Triumph Hunting Titan Nitedemon, the pink-panted pansy Peroty, and your Hunter Master Ranger, Mr. No One Respawns in Real Life!
So yeah, welcome to the show. Welcome this week. It's just me and Peroty. We are here to help guide you through the Destiny universe and all the different things that are happening this week in Destiny, which really, there was only one thing, which was the update. And I don't even know the name of the update because I haven't got it up in front of me as yet. I'm clicking buttons as I'm trying to distract you while I'm talking to you, and the computer's gone really slow now.
That's update 7305. Who in 2024 we're just going to start calling George. We're going to give each update a name and just refer to them by name because it'll be just as confusing as Bungie's naming conventions.
You know that's going to confuse Respawn when he comes back and we go update Sonya.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to go, what?
I mean, is that the entire point? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it's not the point. Yeah, we did sort of get almost a TWAB length list of Crucible notes, I guess, from the Destiny 2 team on Twitter. So they've been at least sort of putting things out over there again, going, hey, we remembered you all exist and you like hearing things. And I mean, despite getting rid of most of their team, they've been doing a decent job communicating, which the irony of that is lost on no one. But it's a lot of hey, this is coming, this is happening, this is changing.
Yeah, it seems to be a lot of changes to Checkmate in the kind of background. It doesn't see. I'm not really a fan of Checkmate, and I just like the OG kind of style of Destiny. Give me the guns, give me my supers, give me my abilities, and just let me go and play the game that you originally kind of envisioned. And I get the idea of the Checkmate. They want to kind of tune it, but it now sounds like they want to kind of tune it to be. We don't call it Checkmate anymore. It will just be the regular mode. But at the moment, we're calling it Checkmate so that they can say that they can tune that kind of mode going forward until it's kind of is just the game for Crucible now. If you get what I mean, I think.
Yeah, I mean, that seems to be where they were going with it. But then they're in this last set of updates, going, hey, we're going to make a bunch of changes, so it's going back into the labs, rotator for now. Basically, we thought it was good. It turns out it's not good. So we're gonna throw it back into the cooker, bake it longer, see if it comes out more done. I don't know. I know we mentioned last week. I think we mentioned last week. They removed the togetherness.
Togetherness, yeah.
Struggling with the words this week. This is gonna be good. Yeah,
the modifier. Yeah, not the modifier.
The togetherness modifier in the coil they've removed.
Yes,
which I figure was at least worth mentioning again in case you started listening last week and going, "Where is Destiny talk?" and then left. Going,
no, there was lots of Destiny talk. We did lots of Destiny talk. There was just the questions at the end. We did.
But you never know. It's the holiday season. People might have been like, we're not listening to you right now. We're not playing, but just in case you're going, hey, is it gone? I heard something about that, and I've heard something about it again.
Yeah.
So helping.
So reading through this for this week for the update, I was a bit confused to start off with because it says playlists. As of this week, Checkmate has been removed back into the labs node for continuing iterations with the update and tuning details below. And then it says next week will feature 3v3 clash. But will that be 3v3 clash Checkmate? Because they don't kind of explain that it is. It just says this 3v3 clash has been modified to reflect a fan favorite of the original Destiny, which was Skirmish. So revives are enabled. And then once Checkmate, they're going to do one more rotation of Checkmate Trials Labs later on in the season, which is on February 9th with the tuning. But Checkmate is not currently planned to be back in the control node again. So does that mean it's 3v3 clash Checkmate because that's the one that's going in the labs node, or is it just going to be 3v3 clash, but just different variation? Because that's what I'm thinking is that the checkmate will be there at some point, and they will say it. So, or am I just going insane?
Well, that was my guess, is saying we're putting checkmate back into labs. We're going to bring you skirmish this next week because we're not ready to bring you checkmate in the labs, and it's going to be 3v3 clash, aka skirmish, which I don't remember from Destiny 1, but there's a lot of, I mean, Destiny 1 was a long time ago. There's a lot of things I don't remember from Destiny 1. So yeah, I mean, that's how I read this, as going, we're, checkmate goes back into labs. We're not going to have checkmate. We're going to have the skirmish variation, and then we're going to bring checkmate back, after that, once we have some time to again tweak it, and when people are all back from vacation and remember how to do their job again, and the cobwebs of the year have shaken out a little bit.
Yeah,
but this is Bungie, so it could just be Iron Banner Eruption next week for all we know.
Well, I half expected them to kind of put the new controlled Sparrow control in next week, but again, we've got another week of just control, which is also very confusing, because when they said about they were going to put it into the different nodes and have checkmate be a selectable node as well as control, and now it's just kind of, they've taken out that selectable node part of it and they've just left it as control. And it was control last week, and apparently it's going to be control next week as well, which is fine. Regular control, everybody likes a bit of regular control. But then when Iron Banner does return, there will be like the node will also be there to select whether you want to do 6v6 control as a regular kind of node as well as Iron Banner. So it'll be selectable, I guess, where the Iron Banner emblem is.
They're making it so very clear and easy to understand with all of these changes.
Well, yeah, I mean, it says the next Iron Banner, there will be an unmodified, e.g. Clash, Zone Control, or Supremacy, as to oppose Scorched, Momentum, or Mayhem in the 6v6 control playlist node. So those wishing to not play Iron Banner can still play a 6v6 PV playlist kind of thing. If they've taken out the checkmate, that just leaves, I mean, it does leave, like they said, Clash, Zone Control, Supremacy, but yeah, that seems to be going back on what they originally had, because they originally said we're going to lump all of those into a kind of Party Relentless playlist, which has currently been doing like Clash and Zone Control and Supremacy and Scorched and Mayhem. Yeah, I don't think we've had Momentum Control just yet.
We haven't, and somebody on Twitter was asking them, going, "Hey guys, what about Momentum Control? It's been 8 weeks."
Yeah,
and Destiny 2 team did respond to say it will return to the rotator on January 30th. So not this coming week, not the next week, but the week after that. So the end of January, Momentum Control finally comes back, which will be like an 11-week, 12-week absence.
Yeah.
So I don't know who forgot Momentum Control existed and to put it back in the rotation, but they're at least aware, or at least are aware now.
It sounds like they're aware now.
Going, hey guys, we there's this other mode that we'd like to play that you just haven't given us in 2 months.
I think the thing came was when they did their thing of we're going to split the nodes, because we had the party mode and we had the relentless mode last season, which were the two 6v6s. And then when Iron Banner came up, the 6v6 node was taken out for that week, because it was just the control. It was whatever Iron Banner was. And then the kind of party playlist, which normally had just like the Scorched and like Mayhem kind of games in there. But then when they started this season, or before they started the season, they said they were going to amalgamate most of those modes into kind of this Party Relentless playlist, and control will be checkmate control. And then some weeks it'll be regular control, some weeks it'll be Sparrow control, some weeks it'll be X, Y, and Z. It was just going to be all control. And then they came out, I think it was about a week or two later into the season, they said, oh, Momentum Control won't be included in that control playlist. That will be in the Party Relentless playlist. So I was thinking, oh, at some point that will pop up and we'll be able to play Momentum Control. But yeah, it just seems like they took it out of that playlist, thinking, oh, we can't have everything be control, because if we've got a Party Relentless playlist that has Momentum Control up 1 week and we have Checkmate Control up the same week, it's going to upset people. And I think a lot of people were saying that on Twitter when they first announced it. So they went, oh, we'll take that one out so that there'll never be a double up on control. But they took it out, didn't seem to put it back in, as it sounds like.
A double up, a single up, there at all. Because I'm sure I was just trying to look through the challenges. I'm sure there is a go into momentum control and get X number of kills that I'm sure someone's been going, all right, one of these weeks I'm going to do this. And
no, I don't think there was.
Was
but
it not?
no.
Okay, yeah, I was trying to look and see if there was one this. I feel like it's usually, go in, like I know Mayhem is up this week, so it'd go get your 25 Mayhem kills with supers or whatever. But I guess now that we have more and more different kinds of PvP modes, it's go get X number of kills in these various modes. So I guess momentum control is the redheaded stepchild this year going. We don't love you anymore.
Well, so far this season we've had Rift in week 1, Clash in week 2, Zone Control in week 3, Supremacy in week 4. Week 5 was Mayhem. Then we went Scorched. Then we went back to Mayhem this week. Next week is going to be Clash. So it just seems like it's all over the place, and that's for the Party Relentless playlist.
Yeah.
For the 6v6, we've had Checkmate Control. Iron Banner started off as Tribute, but then ended up being Control. And then we had Checkmate Control for another 3 weeks. Then we had Iron Banner Eruption, and then we've had Control for 2 weeks now. Well, this week that we're currently in, and the week we're currently going into.
I had forgotten that Supremacy came back, partially because I missed the week it was up and completely forgot it was back in the game.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that confused me, because when we had it, we had Mayhem in week 5, and I thought it was going to continue down the list of, Scorch was next, and then it was going to be Momentum Control, or potentially Momentum Control. But then it went back to Mayhem, and that was because one of the challenges said you need to go into Mayhem and get, tick off that box of getting Mayhem kills. I'm like, we only had Mayhem like literally 2 weeks ago, so why have we got it again? Just because the challenge said? Why didn't you put that challenge in like at week 5, like they did last season when they had Iron Banner, and the season before where they put the Iron Banner challenge the week after Iron Banner turned up, and it was like communication, guys. And I feel that it's going to do the same in the challenges this season as well, because week 9 I've had a look through, and I believe it says it's Iron Sharp. I think it's the Iron Sharpens Iron challenge that's going to be back in week 9, and I don't know whether that's because Iron Banner will be back in week 9, or it'll be the week after, which is week 10, which will be January 30th. Like you said, that will be the Momentum Control. So yeah, it's confusing. And so far in the 3v3 playlist, we've had Elimination Showdown, Elimination Showdown, Elimination Showdown, Elimination Showdown. Guess what it is? It's going to be Elimination. Well, I don't know, to be honest, but yeah, it has been like that for like the last 8 weeks. But it's nice to see that we've got Gambit come back up next week for the bonus rewards. So there is that, I guess.
There is.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's here. You can get bonus rewards. Can you do anything else with it? Nope. But it's there.
And yeah, but the nice thing is about at the moment, like I said last week, with Gambit, it's been a really good game mode to play, and the incentive to go in there and get the Breakneck auto rifle has also been quite good. And somebody pointed out when I think Paul Tassi was talking about his Breakneck that he got, and he got a good god roll. I'm not sure whether it was a tweet or it was in a video, but they pointed out the fact that he had like about 3 different nodes open on each of those rolls for that weapon, and it was like he's obviously gone through and played Iron Banner this season and reset his rank many a times to get all those different nodes to get a possibility of a god roll. And that's also the good thing, isn't it, that if you go through and play like Gambit, if you go play Crucible, if you go play the Strikes, and you keep resetting your rank, you get more and more of a chance to have more and more nodes unlocked on a gun for different perks. So there is that, especially with the Breakneck. It's a very good weapon for PvE and PvP. So
yeah, and that's something worth reiterating is, especially since we have this hilariously long season, the more times you reset your rank with something, the more nodes you open it up. It gives you an extra slot on the left node, the right node, left node, right node, and so yeah, you can absolutely no life your way through something, or just do a ton of strikes, play a ton of Crucible, reset your rank. I'm not saying go pick up bounties every time and be a bounty farmer, but the higher you make the bar go up, the more times you reset it, the more options you'll have on every single drop, and then you can put the ghost modifier on that gives you the possibility of another legendary drop as you go. So you're doing, you're getting your materials farming done. You're just getting more options at weapons farming, in addition to easily getting to 99 of those engrams to go actually try to, actually focus on the thing you want and say, here is the thing I want to have. Give me loads of them. Because since we have this 7-month season, you're going to have plenty of time to reset things. So if there's anything you want to focus anywhere, you should have plenty of time to reset your rank, a couple of times if you play it at all. Even if you're just playing Gambit on double Gambit weeks, or just going to Crucible for, Iron Banner and Mayhem. Just play that enough to make that bar go up. You're going to have some decent rolls at the end of the season.
Yeah.
Speaking of focusing things,
yes,
I noticed that I had some Nightfall Adept ciphers.
Yes.
And I have no idea from where they came from, because I have not run a Grandmaster Nightfall since approximately the 1400s.
Well, you must have gained them in the 1400s then, because that's the only time that you can get them.
Yeah, so I'm very curious because they showed up like this week. Because they I'm pretty sure they were not here before, because I saw something, that screen was flashing to say, hey, you've got something new in here. And I was like, oh, I've claimed, the ornament for the Dragon's Breath off the Season Pass. Let me go, unlock that. And I've been unlocking, the ornament on the Season Pass for my characters as I've been playing. And I was like, what's this icon here? Nightfall Cipher Adept, Source Grandmaster Nightfalls. And I'm going, I have 2 of them. And I'm going, I absolutely have not set foot in a Grandmaster Nightfall since I got a Adept Hung Jury a long time ago. So I'm going, it was just one of those, is this Bungie apologizing for something? Should I have gotten these a million years ago and didn't? Like I'm just very confused. Like I'm not upset. I'm just more confused. And I'm going, I haven't seen anything from like Bungie Help or the Destiny 2 team going, oh hey, by the way, one of those things that should have dropped. I mean, maybe this giant patch note, which granted I sort of glossed through, but I didn't read in detail. Maybe somewhere in there it goes, oh hey, we've given you Nightfall Adept ciphers if you didn't get them before, or because we think you're cool. It was just sort of I'm confused. I mean, again, I'll take them and go enjoy them, but I just don't know why I have them. I don't know what I did to deserve this, but I'm good with it.
No, I'm not sure, because like I said, with the pinnacles and the powerful rewards that you could get from just turning in bounties, those 8 bounties that you can do for Gambit, Strikes, and Crucible were just powerful rewards for quite a few seasons. And it was only this season that I noticed, it could have been last season as well, that they changed to Pinnacle again. And I'm not sure why, and I'm not sure who made that decision and didn't say anything about it.
Because that person no longer works at Bungie.
But it makes no sense, because they've put those 3 pinnacles in the tower to go and turn in those bounties. But to go and play the game modes, you're given exotics, because they wanted to take the pinnacles out of doing those grinds of having to play 3 Crucible matches, 3 Gambit matches, 3 Strikes to get a pinnacle reward. It's like, well, I've got to still go and play those game modes and turn in those bounties to get a pinnacle if I want a pinnacle. It's, I think they like I've said before, I think they flooded the market too much with exotics.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a new player in this game, there is no better time to sit here and go, well, I don't have these exotics and I need to get them unlocked. Like, just the number of exotics and the ease of exotics, the fact that I'm having to go in every week and clear out a row of exotics from Rahul, because I have too many sitting there. Like, there again, as discussed, my memory is short and my game time in this game is long. But I cannot remember a time where it was you just go turn on the console, turn on your PC, load up Destiny, and exotics are just showered upon you. Before it would be like, oh, you might get one here or there. You'd see that glistening gold icon on the ground in the distance going, ooh, is that an exotic that dropped? Oh, I wonder what that could be. Now it's like, yeah, I've got 9 this week, and I'm going to get 9 more next week, and I've got 3 more in the Postmaster because there's no room for those. So, I mean, like if you're coming into this game and trying to build up things, or just, did not have a lot of exotics because you took time away or whatever, it's wonderful for that. Like, I could see me as a new player going, there's so many weapons that I've heard about that I'd like to get, that I want to have. it's got to be wonderful to be able to acquire those and not spend, the hours, the years playing the stupid quest, figuring out what you were supposed to do to receive these.
Yeah. I mean, there must be. I mean, I'm looking in Destiny Item Manager now, and it says I've got like 286 exotics, but that's including ghosts and sparrows as well. So if we take out ghosts, sparrows, and ships, it is ridiculous the amount of exotic armor pieces and weapons that you can get. But some weapons you can only get from exotic missions. Some you can't get anymore, and you have to wait for Xur to come around. But it's like, yeah, it's just. I understand why they wanted to do it, but it made it more rewarding for somebody to maybe possibility get a reward at the end of a Crucible match or at the end of a Gambit match in Destiny 2. I mean, we never had that. In Destiny 1, we had that kind of, is it going to be? Is it not going to be? Is the lowest score player going to get one? Of course they are, or you may get one at the end of the raid encounters. It was like you do the stuff that just play the game and you'll randomly get one, or do the high level content and you've got more of a chance to get one. Now it's just like, here you are, just do something in the game and we'll give you an exotic. And I think it's really lessened the exotics as pieces of weaponry and armor. They're meant to feel like, I feel that you're meant to have like earned them. I just playing 3 strikes to get an exotic is like, nah.
Yeah, there's and I think that's part of why like the Wicked implement and the Vex Caliber. Like I've gotten to the point in each of those missions where the next step is just go earn these weapons.
Yeah.
The Wicked implement I played a couple of times, like when it was first available, haven't gone back to it. Vex Caliber, thought about it, haven't gone back to it. And just, I mean, some of it now is there's so, again, being a veteran player, there's so many weapons I have access to, and those not being, like, oh my God, you have to have these. These are the absolute best thing for ABC.
Yeah.
Like if they were absolutely like, ridiculously good weapons and there were things I wanted, I would have made time to go get them. But definitely the completionist in me to go, well, I need to get this, I need to get that, I need to have these, is much less. And I also know I can just wait and eventually Bungie will put them in the kiosk and then I could just pick it up if I wanted it later. And yes, Respawn is here going, yeah, but it's going to be nerfed by then and it's not going to be as good and it's not going to have the synergy with the thing when it came out. And you are 100% right in all of those ways. Absolutely correct. The number of things I've gotten or started using after their heyday is pretty much everything I've ever had in this game, because I am not... I look and I see, yes, this is the hot new thing, this is the amazing new thing. Yeah, I have a playstyle that I'm going to stick to. I'm not really going to go over here and over there and do this and do that. So,
but I think that's what made Destiny with the exotics, because I didn't get Galahorn until I think it was Prison of Elders, and it was about my 10th run on Prison of Elders, and I was like, we'd played a lot of Destiny at that point. I had the chance to buy it when it first came around with Xur, just didn't get it, and it never dropped from me doing raids and Nightfalls at the time. At that point, it was I used to go in each week and do all 3 characters, do every kind of ritual activity that I could to possibly get an exotic at the end of it. Didn't get anything until Prison of Elders, and it was literally when I gave up, and it was like, okay, Prison of Elders. It was a random group, and I just kind of, it dropped at the end of it. And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. I actually have the Galahorn now, and it's I think it's that I kind of miss in Destiny now. I enjoy doing these exotic missions, that they're really cool, and we can talk about that in a minute, but it just, you're guaranteed it at the end of it. It's not like a chance to get it. It's, you're going to go and do it, which are really good fun. But yeah, it's I miss the scarceness of getting an exotic and having getting the kind of drive to log on every day, every week to go and see if I can do something to get an exotic to drop, and then running out of things to do, going, well, I didn't get that exotic that I wanted. I may have got something to drop that week, or a couple of things on, armor pieces or different weapons that I didn't have. And it's like, there's always next week's reset. I'll play PvP for the rest of the week in Destiny 1. It's like, that's what kind of got me to come back. And we've said it before, like, that's what I can think like Destiny 2 is missing, is that kind of repetitiveness of getting people to kind of come in and play your game and look, give them something that they're kind of striving to get that's really hard to get, like these exotics. And then when they don't get them and they've played all the things that you've kind of given them that week to go and get the exotic, they then turn to what else is in the game can I go and play? Maybe I can get a chance at the end of a Crucible match, maybe at the end of a Gambit match. High possibilities when it's a 2 times loot or 2 times XP, a higher chance for you to go and get an exotic to drop in that week. So next week with Gambit coming up, you've got more of a chance to get like an exotic to drop at the end of a match. It'd be like perfect, not guaranteed, just a chance. And I think that's the thing that we're kind of still missing in Destiny. And I don't know what they could put in to get people to do that now, because you can't, as people say, you once you squeezed out all the toothpaste, you can't get the toothpaste back in.
Yeah, you can't put the toothpaste back on the tube. But once you made the decision to rain exotics on everyone, it's like, there's a couple that are locked behind the quests that are still there and still exciting to go for. And I think, like, I've been talking with Noble and others, again, I think we're all, well, I won't say all, but, many of us are hitting that point of, we've played this game, we've played a lot of this game and been through all of its phases, and, the chase is gone. It's mostly, let's go, it's the friend game or the fashion game. Let's go have fun and hang out. The one thing that you touched on before that I absolutely miss from Destiny 1 is seeing what people are getting at the end of the match. I miss the screen that would show, when I'm running Iron Banner with, 5 randoms or my whole team or whatever it is, and seeing, oh, you got the exotic. Oh, you got that to drop. Like seeing what people got at the end of the match. I missed that. Like it was something I took for granted at the time because I was like, oh, this is just a fun thing. But I didn't. Now that it's been gone for so long, I miss seeing, at the end of the raid, oh, who got the raid exotic? Who got the, who got the auto rifle they were going for? Who got the rocket launcher they were really hoping to get out of this? Like, seeing who got that reward at the end game screen was just fun. And I miss seeing who got what. Because, obviously, if you can chat with them, you can say, oh, I got this, you got that. Oh, well, you didn't get this again. But just seeing that at the end of the match was fun. And, because, like, it was always funny, playing Iron Banner and going, okay, who are the least, the 2 people at the bottom of the leader pool, or on the leaderboard, they are going to get the good reward. The exotic will drop for them. So the game is almost going, you did your best. Here you go. Here's a little something to keep coming back. And it was just fun to see. I went 18-0 and got all these kills and I got nothing. You had a 0.03 KD and you got the the new exotic to drop, or you got this thing to drop, or this really good roll of something. And I just it's like it just sort of missed that little like not community-ness of it, but just like sort of just seeing oh, hey, here's how I did. How did you do? What did you get from this? And like the commendations are fine, but the commendation screen, even on the Series X, often doesn't load in time for me to see any of the other players, and that kills me because I want I know you by what you look like in the game for the most part, not what your name is, unless you have a really ridiculous name. So I'm handing out commendations on the, hey, here's the the kill death screen and whatever, but I can't see you, and I miss seeing the player characters. Like it's been that way like since they changed the PvP load screen over and introduced that. It just doesn't load quick enough for me to see people, and I'm on the best console I can be on for how I'm going to play this game. If that's not going to do it for me, there's no hope. And it's just so I think some of those things just missing the mark and going, you did this and it's cool, but if I can't experience it, it's just kind of like a tiny little paper cut every single time. Oh, you could see everybody zone in. You could go through and click through your Crucible teammates and just see what they're running or what their KD is, or going, okay, let's follow that guy. He's gonna lead us to victory. And just not seeing that screen because it's so buggy every single time, and it's been like that forever.
And it seems to be the same with the opening scene as well. Sometimes you'll get the opening screen and you'll see everybody. Sometimes you will see a flicker of your whole lineup and then they'll just disappear. And you can scroll through the names of people and their emblems. Sometimes you get a really cool animation that they change the animation sometimes. And then sometimes you get that rare one with all the ghosts suddenly pop up and you're like, oh, this is cool. And it's like, it's never consistent. It's never like, oh, yeah, it's always kind of very bitty, and then sometimes you'll get like that really long kind of pause on that screen, and you can see the countdown timer going in the corner, and then it'll go to black screen, and it's like got its like second timer that you can't see, and it's loading people in. It's like, yeah,
I've started a collection of each Crucible map that's just the picture of the map with absolutely no UI elements on it.
yeah,
Because oftentimes that's what I get. Like no people, no names, no indicator, just the background of the map. Just the wallpaper basically, and nothing else. And it just sits like that for as long as it takes for the game to load in.
yeah. And it's funny that you mention about like the screens for Destiny 1 of you seeing kind of what you get at the end of the match. And, if I wasn't playing with my friends at that time, I would take a screenshot and send it to them and say, look, this is what I got at the end of the match. Or, these are the people that I played with, look at all these cool emblems. And the only reason I remember that is because back, I think it must have been last September, August time, Xbox sent out a bit of information to say, oh, by the way, all of those things that you've been recording over the many years, we've still got all of those things stored on wherever. You've got until January 9th to get all of those things off before we delete everything up until a certain date. And I only just remembered yesterday, which was the 12th of January, and luckily, all my stuff was still on there. So I kind of plugged in my USB and went, yep, please download 360 something odd items and I'll keep them. And I was looking through and I was like, oh, there's all my old Destiny 1 stuff. That's cool. So, yeah.
So you haven't saved enough either purposely or by accidentally pressing that screenshot button on the new Xbox controllers to have filled up that space a couple of times? I may have had to go through a couple of times to clear out because it's like, you can't take that screenshot. You can't upload that video. You're out of room. However much room we assign to you or number of items.
It was already upset with me. It was already upset with me because when it gave me the option to download them and put them on the USB, it then came up and went, do you need more space? So I clicked on the thing. I was like, what are you talking about? And they wanted to charge me for more space because I was 175% over the allotted slot. I was like, yeah, that's what 8 years of kind of recording clips will do. I had things like going back to Killer Instinct and like, I think it was FIFA 14, which came out with the original Xbox. There's like these fantastic goals that I'd scored that for some reason the FIFA game would automatically record if you did a really good.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
That's something I appreciate in games. Yeah, we'll automatically record if you do a cool thing. Great. Like I honestly, I wish Destiny would do more of that. I wish you give me one of those good plays or those saves, but how would it know?
They had that studio system that was built into the Xbox as well that you could then transfer that to that and put it kind of on a reel and do different things. And that suddenly just disappeared as well. But I've got a few clips that look like it went into that I'd messed about with and just left on there. So if you have an Xbox and you've got clips going all the way back to Destiny 1, go and check now to see if you can get them off there if you still want them, like I did. So they're still there at the moment, but they are slowly deleting countless people's things.
Yep, they're going, we gave you the space. We never really put a limit on it. We just let you fill it up until you hit whatever the limit was when we would start saying, no, we're cutting you off.
Yeah.
Which is apparently somewhere above 175% over, so.
Well, I pay for Xbox Live, which I should be entitled to some free space somewhere.
One would think. But I'm resisting the urge to go on a little minor rant about just the poor quality of managing your clips. Microsoft, who has an entire operating system behind them, who have many cloud things, their OneDrive integration that I've never gotten to work. I've never been able to just like go grab my clips and screenshots from there. No, I've had the number of janky looking third party, download your Xbox clips websites that I've had to use over time.
Yep.
Just to get access to this stuff. I'm going, guys, I've seen at least a small degree of what like PlayStation has or had. I can't speak to how it is right now, but like the tools they have, like to share to social media or just to share this stuff. And Microsoft's just like, why would we bother? Why would we want to do that?
Yeah.
Why would I want to integrate, the entire suite of tools we built to, I don't know, manage files in a server somewhere and give people access to them? Why would we want to do that for Xbox? Anyway, we're not going down that road today. Back to Destiny. We're going back over here now.
Yeah. So back to our update 7.3.0.5, we've got a couple of miscellaneous updates. So the double rewards icon is now correctly appearing on playlists in Crucible Labs. So you could get double XP in Crucible Labs, but the icon wasn't there. And they've also fixed an issue where players were able to summon sparrows during showdown matches in 3v3 quick play. So
not an issue. It's a feature.
Yeah, it's not. Countdown Rush. So this was snuck back in, I think, a couple of weeks ago, or even this week, possibly, in the Labs playlist. I think it was. So the PvP Strike team notes, at the end of January, we had a larger update aimed at addressing the community feedback on Countdown Rush as a competitive game mode, including reducing heavy ammo frequency, updating sudden death rules, spawning tuning, and reducing the advantage of attacking teams as in the mode. So they fixed an issue where players could be forcibly respawned while teammates were reviving them, fixed an issue where a player's ghost would spawn too close and to the charge, preventing interaction, and Citadel and Multiplex maps should no longer appear in the competitive playlist for Countdown Rush game modes. So those are the big ones, so they won't be there.
Yeah.
And then the highly anticipated Sparrow Control, they've already adjusted it before we've even got it. So they've brought back a special medal that can only be earned in this game mode. So if they brought it back, were we able to earn it beforehand? Or is it one from Destiny 1 that I got that I now need to earn in Destiny 2? Is that the question or the answer?
That's a great question. And
Yeah,
they're not going to tell us.
No. And some larger maps have an increased frequency of appearing in the upcoming Sparrow Control playlist to provide more of that room for Varoom. Yes.
Disjunction.
Yeah. Disjunction, maybe Citadel, Multiplex. Just
all those maps they took out of the competitive mode. Yeah, just put them into the Sparrow mode.
I think there's a couple of maps that you could port over from Destiny 1. First Light, maybe? Possibly?
If only we had a map where you could have, the vehicles on it already from no. Okay.
No. Checkmate, the PvP Strike team has another note. They've listened to our feedback on Checkmate and have made substantial overhauls to the mode to address these pain points. So abilities. The threaded Spectre uptime and threading strength versus players will be tuned individually in future global patch later this season. But they're reducing the melee, grenade, and class ability penalties from 30 to 15%. So does that mean that it's going up? I guess it's going up then, isn't it? Because if it was a penalty at 30%, it's going up.
So basically you'll get your abilities back faster, which seems to go against the point of the mode, but here we are.
But that's what I said at the beginning, that they seem to be tuning Checkmate to be the mode, and they'll just take away the name Checkmate and it will just be that's Control, that's Clash, this is the tuning. This is what I don't get, is because they originally sold us as Checkmate is another kind of mode that that they can tune and play around with, but the original, will still be there. I mean, the original might still be there. They might call it 6v6 Control Original or something, and then whatever. Maybe they might still keep Checkmate, but it just seems to be like they're tuning it to be the main thing, as they've said. The super penalty is going to remain at 20%, and they've increased the melee damage by 16%. So special ammo acquisition. So set up modes like Control and Clash to start the game with 2 kills worth of special ammo. So people apparently were moaning on Twitter about this and saying, hey, I thought you weren't going to kind of give us special ammo. We had to earn it. But it makes sense to actually have it when you first kind of spawn in, so that you could use it if you need to kind of counteract somebody that has kind of earned it, that's coming for you, that, you're not that kind of PvP god, but you do have access to that special weapon rather than just your auto rifle, and then you're kind of done for. So it does kind of make sense to actually have something. I mean, you could splurge it all in one go at the beginning and go, well, I'm just going to shoot these 2 rounds off and then that's it. I've now got to kind of work and earn, but at least you've kind of got something there to start off with to kind of counteract those PvP gods.
And that's one of the things they were saying is like in the Destiny 2 team tweets, basically saying, we're trying to reduce snowballing, so just giving less special ammo. So if you've got the special ammo and you're just snowballing the other team, it hopefully it'll slow that down a little bit. That's the goal, at least.
So yeah, they do say that respawning after death doesn't grant additional ammo, which must be earned. And for now, round-based modes will start with no special ammo. All ammo transmats will now grant 2 kills worth of special ammo. Being revived no longer removes earned special ammo, and base checkmate ammo points rewards changes. So assist rewards increase from 7 to 10 points. Death's reward increase from 5 to 10 points. Zone capture rewards decrease from 20 to 14, and heavy pulls reward decrease from 10 to 8 points. So you had to get so many points, didn't you, before you could kind of earn like your ammo. So I'm not sure how many points that was in total, but some of them have been increased and some of them have been decreased.
Yeah. Yeah, basically favoring deaths and assists and less favoring capturing zones and pulling heavy.
Yeah, because
if you pull heavy, then you'll get more, deaths and assists. So.
Yeah.
Although death rewards, I assume that means kill rewards. Death, I don't know.
Yeah, so if you kill somebody, you get 10 points, and assists you get 10 points. So it's rewarding you for actually kind of getting those kills rather than just kind of capturing zone after zone after zone. Because that makes sense, capturing a zone at the moment, if it's 20 points, you're more likely to go and keep to capturing zones to get the points rather than kind of getting the kill, which only gave you 5 points, and assists gave you 7, which was silly, I guess. Why would it be that way? I know you're kind of trying to incentivize people to kind of play the rounds or the game mode, but that still makes no sense.
I can't remember last time I played a checkmate of any sort. But we also do have some weapon balancing, because it wouldn't be Destiny without weapon balancing. So the PvP Strike Team note says, with these changes, all primary weapons will join hand cannons and having the same optimal time to kill as they do in the base sandbox. For background info, player health is increased by 30 hit points in Checkmate, so players have 100 health and between 116 and 130 shield, depending on the resilience values. So, basically, people in Checkmate will have between 116 health at the plus shield at the lowest and 130. So that's what you're trying to knock down. That's a goal for killing. And they do I've heard other people make the point of, this is the optimal time to kill. So they're not saying everyone's time to kill is the same, but the optimal time to kill of hand cannons, that should now be achievable on other weapon types that aren't hand cannons. So first, the hand cannons. It is a known issue that the adaptive hand cannons with explosive payload are resiliency gated for killing in 3 crits. This is not an intended change and will be corrected in the future. So the body shot damage scaler is being increased from negative 10% to negative 5%, and critical hit damage scaler will remain at plus 10% for hand cannons. So I'm just going to say go see Fallout or Astacross for explanations on the damage scalars going up and down. It's basically, percentages going up and down. All of these are going to be X percent and Y percent is now this and that. So submachine guns, your body shot damage is going to go from 0 to negative 3%. Your critical hit damage will go from 0 to 12.5%. So less for body shots, more for crits.
Yeah.
Sidearms, your body shot damage, negative 5 to 0. So more. You'll do more damage with body shots on sidearms. Critical is going from negative 5% to 14%. So again, bringing all of these up. And basically all of these are going up to 14% for crit damage. So your auto rifles has a body shot or body damage scaler going from 2% to 0, so a little less. But the crit damage from 2% to 14%. So again, basically favoring critical hit damage. Pulse rifles, body shots going from 4 to 0%. Crit damage going from 4 to 14%. Scout rifles, negative 9% to 0 for body damage. And negative 9 to 14 for crit damage. Trace rifles, they're just increasing the base damage by 20%. Just across the board, base damage 20% higher. Glaives, the projectile damage is being increased by 20% and the melee damage by 16%. Machine guns, base damage 20% up, just across the board.
With these, though, they don't seem to break them down into families. I know they kind of touched on the adaptive hand cannons at the top there, but they don't say like the aggressive submachine guns or the fast-firing auto rifles compared to like the heavy-hitting auto rifles, or the heavy pulse rifles compared to like the you know what I mean, the quick burst ones. Yeah,
Right.
I know what I meant.
Yeah.
But you know what I
Yeah.
mean. They haven't kind of broken it down. It's just it seems to be across the board, and that's what
just doing
worries
weapon
me
type.
because some things hit a lot harder than others depending on. So I wonder if they've kind of broken them down into individual kind of families or not, or if this is kind of just across the board, because then that completely changes things.
Well, that's that, and that might be again if we were better Destiny mathematicians, that might be part of the scalar piece. Maybe if you're scaling it, 5%, it's going to scale differently depending on those things. Or this is the first tuning pass of first we're going to do the weapon types, your sidearms, your auto rifles, your pulse rifles, then go back and say, well, the fast firing pulses versus the aggressive pulses or whatever, then we'll tune those differently. So. I think it just depends on how much they're balancing and tuning. Is this pass 1 of 2, or is this just the scalers are going to sort of handle some of that math for them in the background? Go listen to a better show than us to get that answer.
Don't say that. We're not that bad.
We're not. We're just not. We're not Destiny Massive Breakdowns. That's all.
No.
We do have some game mode rules changing though.
Ooh.
So your Checkmate 3v3 Dominion, your ammo point reward changes. Kill rewards decreased from 34 to 22 points. Your assist rewards increased from 10 to 16, and death rewards increased from 10 to 16. So, let's see, kill rewards. I'm very confused by this.
That is confusing.
Less points if you kill, more points if you get an assist or die. Because now I'm confused about the top because it has kill rewards goes from 34 to 22, assist and death from 10 to 16.
Mm-hmm.
So you get. I mean, I guess that makes sense. So if you're killing and wiping the map with people, you get to your ammo point slower than if you're helping or dying. You get there quicker, which I guess makes sense if you're not, the one being the menace.
Yeah, but then, like you said, when we went up. Going back up to the top where it says assists and deaths and zone captures, we're like, well, deaths is like killing people. Then deaths is you get rewarded for you dying in Checkmate.
Mm-hmm. So die more and it'll help you. So I guess that's so it is a death reward. It is trying to balance if you're just dying all the time, trying to prop you up a little bit more.
Fair enough.
Okay. I could, yeah. You never can tell with Bungie what words actually mean.
No.
And okay, so then Checkmate 3v3 Countdown Rush, your score to win is decreased from 5 to 4. Your round time is decreased from 90 seconds to 75 seconds. And your ammo point reward changes. So kills are going from 20 to 14 points, assists from 10 to 12, and death from 5 to 11. So yeah, so this is clearly the more you die, we're going to give you more points, and the better you do, we're going to give you less points. Trying to anti-snowball, balance it out, whatever you want to call it. And your Checkmate 3v3 Clash, your score to win is 40. Your time is 8 minutes. And you're going to have 14 points for kills, 12 for assists, and 11 for deaths. And those aren't adjusted because that's the new skirmish mode coming back in. So that's going to be your win. How you win is you need 40 points. You've got 8 minutes to do it, and you get 40 points for kills, 12 for assists, and 11 for deaths. And we'll see how that goes.
So it is Checkmate 3v3 Clash then? Or is it not?
It is. Well, didn't they say... Oh.
No, that's what I was questioning at the top. It doesn't say, it just says next week we'll feature 3v3 Clash. It doesn't say Checkmate 3v3 Clash.
Yeah, so so it is Checkmate 3v3.
Well, it could be.
So it's going to be this next week. We have a win-loss result for this. Do these things match up? I'm going to go with yes. And then inevitably be wrong because Bungie will say, no, this is a different mode we're bringing back.
Yeah.
Anyway, so maybe the game screen will tell you, maybe they'll forget to, put that information into the game itself. You never do know.
Yeah.
This whole thing has just been a root of nightmares.
It has.
Like the raid that has adept weapons now use knockout logic. So once every drop is unlocked, the drop becomes random.
That's
theory.
Good. Yeah. So that's what's happened with like the Crota raid at the moment. So every time you get an adept weapon, the next that'll be knocked off your list, and then you'll get another adept weapon on that list every time you kind of go through and complete it. That an adept weapon is available, and once you've got all of them, they'll just become random, which is all right. But I used to like the fact that, not that I could actually get them, that they were on set weeks, so that you knew that week, if you went in and did it, you could get adept after adept after adept, like the auto rifle. But
yeah, if you're trying to farm for one, yeah.
So
I guess you could still at least focus it with your raid. What are those raid coins are called?
Yes, you can do the focusing. I think Respawn explained it last time, didn't he? With the you get what you get, but then you can focus it to do you can change a few things on it. But yeah, there was a long explanation behind it.
Yeah. So at least there's limited focusing, but yeah. I mean, at least having the knockout is nice, or at least if you don't have one at all, it gives you a path to at least receiving one.
Yeah. But they are telling you that the Warlord's Ruin dungeon has been fixed, but apparently it hasn't been fixed. It's now kind of made other things go wrong. So they apparently fixed an issue during the second encounter where the right side Warlord would sometimes not summon a totem after doing the animation, has now kind of impacted the first encounter, the second encounter, and the third encounter. So sometimes things get summoned and sometimes things don't get summoned, and you're just kind of waiting around for people to kind of spawn in and do different things. And it's like, nope, not yet. You just got to wait. Or not.
And sometimes you're freezing to death because there's no totem to go to go and feel the warmth of life, because they just took your totems away entirely. Which was a clip I saw this week.
I think I did hear that somebody said that, when they were playing the first boss, where you could, he dropped those kind of flaming, like circular areas that you went and stood in to kind of debuff him so that you could take off his shield. Those things won't spawn in now. This is what the knock-on effect has been. So it's like, oh dear, bless you.
So Bungie Help did tweet, we're investigating an issue where the fix of 7305 for the Warlord totem spawning has negatively affected all totem spawns in the Warlord's Ruin dungeon. The fix will be reverted on January 23rd with the 7306 update, so 10 days from now, as you hear this, they will be reverting that fix, so it'll go back to the previously broken state, while they continue to investigate a new fix for a future update. Yeah, so that's still... So not this coming Tuesday, but the next Tuesday, they're going to revert the fix to the original broken state.
Yeah.
And then, so it's going to be real broken from now till then. So just be aware, if you're running Warlord's Dungeon, totems are going to do what they want to do.
Yeah, you have no control. But they did fix an issue where players would spawn behind their fire team during the summit climb. They fixed an issue during the final encounter where players could get out of the last stand area. Oh, that's not nice, is it? Because there was a lot of cheeses going on there. They fixed an issue with where the Withstand the Siege, O Vengeance Mine, which is the master difficulty completion, She Stood Alone, and O Vengeance Mine solo completion chance would give the wrong rewards. And the correct rewards will be awarded retroactively to players who unlock these triumphs.
Well, that's good at least.
Ghost of the Deep Dungeon. They fixed an issue where players were not awarded the weekly pinnacle reward after the master completion dungeon completion. Master difficulty dungeon completion.
That's a kick in the teeth. I just need this one pinnacle. No, you ran the dungeon, you don't get it. Sorry.
And then you told people at the beginning, but we can tell them again, togetherness will no longer appear as an active modifier in the coil. They fixed issues in the coil where a very loud sound would play when exiting Riven's vending machine or vendor menu. They fixed an issue where the same dialogue would play twice at the beginning of Riven's lair. They fixed an issue where some dialogue would not play until the end and overlap during Riven's lair. And they fixed an issue where players were being removed for inactivity whilst waiting for revives for more than 3 minutes. Ouch. They fixed an issue where the scoring wish perk paired with Well of Radiance could result in game crashes. They fixed an issue where the seasonal exotic catalyst was not progressing in seasonal activities. And they fixed an issue where the Veiled Threats mission was missing its description. So it's now described.
You now know all about the Veiled Threats, but they're still veiled. So
Science Battlegrounds, were you worried about Science Battlegrounds? Because they fixed issues where no glimmer or loot rewards were given when completing the Science Battlegrounds in the Vanguard Ops playlist. This is why it took them 8 weeks to know this, because nobody's played the Science Battlegrounds in the Vanguard Ops playlist.
no, because you see it come up and you're like,
No, you don't even go in there. That's the problem.
Yeah, this is also true.
And they fixed an issue where players would sometimes be blocked from completing the Science Battleground Cosmodome after wiping in the first Darkness Zone.
That is appreciated, because that the one time I did touch a battleground, I ran into that issue. So thank you, helpful.
We've had a UI fix, so they've reverted the fix that prevented fireteam leaders from unintentionally accessing their vault in activities. And access to the vault outside of orbit was unintended, but will be made available. Oh, that's the one that's...
Yeah, that's the one they talked about going, this is a bug, but we think you'll like it, so we'll bring it back as a feature sometime later. And then mentioned like some date distant in the future, like last time they brought it up. Like
they've just said future here. It's in the future.
Yeah, or with like Final Shape or something. So we fix it and we'll give it back to you eventually.
And if you were worried that the Ascendancy rocket launcher didn't appear in the preview screen of the Legacy Gear menu, it's fixed. It's there. It's now.
Oh, it does. Well, that's good. Well, good news, because I've got some updates for your gameplay and your investments. Your investments, they're all going up through the roof. 10x hockey stick growth. Everything's good with investments.
Good.
Unless you invested in the Peacekeepers, because they reduced the handling mobility and ADS movement speed by 50. That's 50%. But they did fix an issue where the Hexer robes were not properly animating on female Warlock characters.
Hang on a minute. Right. So Peacekeepers have been around for a millennia. As they were. Nobody was talking about Peacekeepers.
Nope.
Apart from like the Titans that would use them kind of just religiously.
Mm-hmm.
Why now? Why are we now getting this kind of reduction? I don't understand it. Is it because
somebody squealed?
No, but
somebody talked to who about what and why? Who knows? But
is it because top tier players have now kind of have been using them and using them really well? So it's now kind of going to impact the lesser skilled players, because
I blame the submachine guns. I blame the super spicy submachine guns that they've been releasing, and that's why.
See, I was thinking about this like while I was just kind of after I read this, and I was thinking about it. It was like, why can't they? I know they probably can't do this kind of thing, but when you kind of first go into the game, and like they kind of did with Crucible, they kind of gauge how good of a player you are to kind of put you in a different tier. So, with Crucible, they put you into those kind of play matches. You play like 7 matches and it puts you into a different tier. What I know they can't do it, but I'm saying, why can't they do that for kind of exotics? So when you get an exotic, it's the spicy exotic that they kind of sold you out of the box, fantastic exotic. And as you get better with the exotic, they pull it back in with these kind of reductions to say, right, if you want to kind of specialize in doing this kind of build or doing this kind of gameplay, then these are the restrictions for it. So we'll bring you in with the good stuff, like Respawn always says, like the Whisper of the Worm. When we had that, it was amazing, and then they kind of just nerfed it out of existence. Why can't they do that with some of these exotics to kind of get people used to them? And if they are not that good of a player, they get to use them at a good kind of optimal acceptance for their gameplay. Because there's no way that I'm going to benefit from kind of wearing the Peacekeepers now from before, but I'm not a top tier player in PvP. Yeah, it's just going to put me off kind of putting them on now. Just do you get what I'm saying? It kind of game adjusts to the player rather than kind of just blanket nerf the whole thing across the board. I mean, I'm not saying that for weapons, but mainly for kind of exotic gear. So when they nerfed I think it was the Stompies, wasn't it, for the hunters, where they then had to kind of have a fully charged melee or sprint or something, and they kind of really messed up like how hunters would play the game, and it kind of threw it all in turmoil. It's like, I understand that top tier players are kind of exploiting these exotics to do X, Y, and Z. So maybe rein it in for them, But for the lesser skilled players, surely there should be a kind of halfway point or a kind of starting point for those players to kind of use the exotics to go up against. They have a better chance at going up against somebody that is a top tier player that can kind of utilize these exotics in the way that they're kind of are, in that nerf state, but they're still top tier. They're still going to be able to use them. Whereas a lesser skilled player, if they do end up going up against them, which you kind of end up having to do in like quick play and things like that, it's like give them a chance with like the nerfed exotic. I don't know. Maybe I'm just rambling.
Yeah, no, I think you're onto something for sure.
Training wheels,
but yeah. Well, I mean, how many times have we said there needs to be some kind of either, AAR PvP division for us old folks trying to play PvP,
yeah,
or just or like like Halo would do and put you into the sort of the training wheels division of here's PvP with other people that are under level 5, or whatever it was going. Let's put you in here. Get you acclimated to how PvP works in this game. What's the speed of it? Because like playing PvP, even if you don't play a lot of it, it's very different in different games. Just the speed of the action and how it works. Just getting used to just the feel of a PvP match is a very different thing potentially. So just like not drop you in the middle of just getting absolutely destroyed by the top tier god running his adept weapons on you. Would be a nice way to start, or at least have the option to say, "Listen, I just want to go. Don't give me the top tier rewards. I'm not trying to climb a ladder. Let me just go in and play some PvP for fun. Let me just go. I want to go in with friends, or I want to just play a ridiculous off meta loadout, just to see how it performs. Like I'm not trying to win. I'm not trying to win, but like I'm not trying to advance. I'm not trying to prove anything. I just want to go have a good time with it. Let me play in that a true party mode." Let me play with some of that.
Yeah.
And give me some rules to make that fun. But looking at this, because Peacekeepers in one version or the other have been in the game since season 1. I mean, since day 1, they have been here.
Yeah.
And they reload your stowed submachine guns and allow them to be readied instantly. Also improving your handling with submachine guns and your movement while wielding one. And what has been really spicy for the last couple of seasons? Submachine guns. So, because and this is where Respawn would be here and say, well, if this was a hunter exotic, it would have got nerfed day 1 because they go after the hunters first and they love the Titans, so that's why it took so long. But like, there's enough good Titans running around with submachine guns now. They said maybe we should do a thing.
Well, that's why I mentioned the hunters with their zombies.
Yeah. What, like, was this just on someone's like wish list for Christmas? Going, let's go hit Peacekeepers in the new year.
I mean, you could have been a new player. You came in the game at Christmas and you've been loving your Peacekeepers. You've been playing with your Peacekeepers. You're not amazing, but you're getting used to them and you're really playing them. This is kind of a gut check because it's then kind of knocks you off of your kind of learning of how to use that exotic. And if you're not up to date with what's happening in the game and following all the updates and the different things, and you're just playing the game and it's like, what's happened to these? These were doing this last week. They're now not doing this week. How is that? It would be better explained in game to say, the better you get with as your skill progresses, there will be kind of these things that tack on to say, well, you'll need to kind of be, it will kind of test your skill as you kind of get better. But to kind of just suddenly get it out of nowhere and if you've been using these and they've been doing you really well and now you're kind of, well, what's happened? You've now got to kind of go and search and find out why it's not working for you. And it doesn't seem fair. And the same with like when the Antaeus Wars came out and they weren't that very good. And then they suddenly were really good because people were getting used to how to slide with those to reflect the damage. And it just seems like then they were really nerfed into the ground and people just didn't want to use them anymore. And it's the same kind of thing. It's like people got used to how to use those. And then there was kind of the curve for how a good player could still use them, but then the lower skill players were like, no, I'm just going to switch to something else. Doesn't seem to be fair. It just seems to be like some of these nerfs come around because of the top tier players can do X, Y, and Z with them, but the lower skill players can't, but they're still kind of punished.
Yeah, and this one is just puzzling. Why Peacekeepers? Why now? again, like looking at them,
Yeah.
just at, I mean, this is me looking at face value, going submachine guns. Okay, it seems like a thing, but yeah, it maybe.
I mean, I
maybe
know
this was
there's still a buff there, but it,
right. It's like, yeah, it just seems like a random, like, oh, or maybe did it get left off a list somewhere when they adjusted the last set of exotics and forgot to include this one? Who knows?
yeah.
But don't worry, Nitedemon, because remember how we were talking last week about the Thorn and us being really good with the Thorn and it being really consistent and feeling really good in PvP and absolutely doing more than 1 hit point of damage?
Yeah, but that's because we haven't got the catalyst yet. What happens if we get the catalyst?
Well, don't worry, because they've changed the stats from plus 20 range, plus 10 stability, and plus 2, plus 15 range, and plus 5 stability. But they're going to give us plus 5 to airborne effectiveness. So 5 less range, 5 less stability, but they put one of those 5s into airborne, so I can jump and maybe shoot you slightly better.
So
I
it's
don't think
still
it's
going to
gonna
be
help.
good, but not
Yeah.
as good as when it kind of came out. Oh, fair enough. Yeah, because currently, if you don't have the catalyst, you're sitting at 49 range, 55 stability, and what was the other thing? Air resistance, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Airborne
and
effectiveness.
your airborne effectiveness will go up by 5 now, where it didn't
Ooh.
before. So
yeah, if you haven't got it, it's 21 at this point. So it's still a good weapon. 140 RPM, 100% recoil direction, so it's straight down the line. It's still a good weapon if you can use it.
yeah,
I can't.
I just need to understand why I'm hitting you and doing 1 hit point of damage, but we can figure that out later.
Yeah.
What we are going to do is we're going to stay Frosty, because Stay Frosty's muzzle flash is no longer too large and is a more appropriate size. They also fixed an issue where legendary shotguns were retaining radar while aiming down sights. And an issue where trace rifles were having too large of a muzzle flash. So there's been lots of muzzle flashing going around. Is Stay Frosty the pulse rifle from the Dawning?
Yeah. So
Okay.
it's been around for a couple of dawnings, but yeah, it's confusing. Was it just the new one that kind of affected it, or was it all of them?
Yeah, I'm sitting here going, I was looking at it, reading and going, this seems vaguely familiar, but I do not remember it.
Yeah, it's the primary
Yeah.
stasis pulse rifle.
Yep. Okay.
Could have been.
Yeah,
Could have been the new one.
Yeah, it tweaked its muzzle flash. Good, I guess. In Bounties and Pursuits, we fixed an issue where the old Flame quest for the Dragon's Breath Catalyst was not progressing during the seasonal activities.
Oh, now you fix it, yeah.
Which is fun. Good times. Reduce the drop rate of the Gunsmith engrams from awoken faction chests on the Dreaming City, because we were just getting too many Gunsmith engrams. And they fixed an issue where the Season 20 exotic ship Brazen Spark could not be acquired, blocking seasonal quest lines. It can now be obtained by interacting with the Amanda Holiday statue.
I was going to say, she's gone, so we now have a statue that does her work for her.
So I'm going to assume the Amanda Holiday statue is down
in the
near
hangar
where Amanda Holiday was in the hangar down there with Saint 14.
We'll have to assume, because I haven't.
Guessing? Yeah, I was like,
down there.
Because you haven't told us where it is, Bungie. So we're going to assume that's where it is. And if not, a quick Google search does not tell me. So okay, no, yeah, new monument to beloved character in the tower. So yeah, it's down there near where
How did she get a statue before Cade?
Well, I don't know. Cade got a whole.
Cade was missing for years. He died. He got. No, I'm just complaining on behalf of Respawn here. She gets one a couple of seasons after she's gone. He doesn't get one for a couple of years.
Because his death had meaning and hers didn't. There are very few sculptures left in the last city, and it's hard to say.
Yeah, could be that.
Because they were like, oh, hey, we need to put this somewhere, and we cut off our ship. Right. So yeah, so it looks like there is a statue down near where Amanda Holiday was, maybe behind some tarps. So yeah, just go hunt down there, and presumably if there's something there for you, it will, have a little indicator on it. One can hope. So yeah, and today we learned there's a Amanda Holiday statue. There you go. We fixed an issue with the objective for the Amankara Tales and bonus action triumphs were missing for the Japanese game client.
Ooh.
So if you're playing Japanese now, you'll have some objectives there. Some other localization news. They fixed an issue where the title of the reward for the Warlord's Ruin dungeon completion was too long and overlapping by another reward emblem for one of the triumphs in some language. They don't say which one. And they fixed an issue where some placeholder strings in collections were replaced with proper names. So, good. And then finally, our Fireteam Finder, the Nightfall activity selection was unavailable on the weeks when Battlegrounds were the featured Nightfall. So you couldn't find a Fireteam if it was a Battleground because nobody wants to run a Battleground.
Yeah.
And or checkpoints were not respected for activities once summoned via the Fireteam Finder. So those have both been fixed now. So now you can Fireteam Find for your Battleground and actually maintain the checkpoint if you had one.
Cool. So that was our update, 7.3.0.5. And we got to wait a week and a half for the next one. So next week we'll have a TWAB to talk about. And then the week after we'll have an update and a TWAB, hopefully. And I'm guessing that we're going to end up with Sparrow Control not this week coming up, but the week after, possibly, because they'll want to tell us about it in the TWAB. So, or maybe they won't. Maybe they'll just surprise us.
Yeah, because we're getting momentum control on the 30th, but I've now lost all track of what things show up in what rotators, or honestly how many rotators there are, because I feel like they just keep changing it, and I'm going, those are all rotators, and you can tell me what they are, but I don't remember because you keep changing them.
I can tell you, though, that Prime Gaming is back, and I can tell you that without a TWAB, because I got an email that said, go and collect your stuff.
Whoa. You got an email?
I know.
Relating to Destiny news?
Yeah, I did.
Fancy.
I know. I may have kind of come to the realization it was because my email machine thing was over 1,000 emails in there. Maybe that's what was kind of stuffing it up. So I took the time and went through them and cleared it all down. You know, what am I sitting at now? I think I've only got like the 40 that have been sent this week. So yeah, I'm doing well. I'm 60. Sorry, 60. We've gone up to 60 and 20 today. My word, too many emails. But you have the Keep It Clean exotic emote. So keeping it clean, good. The SK1 multi-band Rover exotic sparrow. If you've missed out on the Warlock legendary ghost shell, that's in there as well. And the Wake the Dragon legendary ghost hollow projection. So that's just the symbol from this season. And I'm not sure if there was an emblem, but there was an emblem when I went to the little kiosk next to Banshee 44, and I was like, I don't remember seeing that in here. So there may be an emblem as well, but it's not on this list of things that they tell you that you can get for your Prime Gaming.
There we go. Yeah, I visit that kiosk periodically and go, there's stuff in there. I don't know where it comes from half the time, but it's there. Some of it's Prime Gaming, some of it's rewards from Rahul or whatever that were. Yeah. I vaguely remember being as part of the season pass going, yep, these are all things that are going to show up at some point. I just go there and I'd be surprised. Turn brain off, play a video game. No thoughts.
So if you're confused about what we're talking about, so if you have an Amazon account, so if you've signed up for Amazon and you get Amazon stuff, Amazon Prime, you can access Prime Gaming. And as long as you've got a Destiny account, you play Destiny, and a Bungie.net account, and you've linked those two, so you link your Destiny account to your Bungie.net account, you then have to link your Bungie.net account to your Amazon account through the Prime Gaming. Once you've done that, you can click on it, collect the rewards. It will then be sent to your game, and you can go and collect it from the little kiosk that's next to Banshee 44 in the tower. So there's a lot of clicking going on. If you don't have Prime Gaming, you can sign up for a 30-day trial. So if you like the look of one of these exotics, at some point, you can go, right, I'm going to click my free gaming trial thing now, as long as you cancel it after 30 days. I'm not endorsing you kind of signing up and just kind of aimlessly spending money. I mean, you probably need a credit card to kind of sign up for it because they'll say, we'll charge you after 30 days. But there is that option of kind of getting something free to start off with. So, yeah.
There is. And if you do have Prime and you do watch Twitch, you can also get a free Prime sub every single month. So if you do have a streamer you like to follow and you're like, I would like to follow you, or just go, let me throw 5 of Amazon's dollars at somebody every month. You can go use your free Prime Gaming sub to get all of the lovely rewards from, being a subscriber to a Twitch channel on Amazon. So, just another thing you can use. And also, Twitch will sort of tell you in its little reward. It has a Prime Gaming drop down, looks like a little King's Crown icon at the top of the screen, where it'll say, "Hey, here's a Prime Gaming rewards," and the Destiny ones will be there, as well as other games you may or may not play. But it'll also sort of give you, hey, if you're playing FIFA 2024, hey, there's the rewards for that. Apex Legends, this game Destiny 2, Valorant, So if you are playing rewards, Twitch will tell you about them and go, hey, go get your rewards, because the power of Amazon. And if you don't have them, then don't worry about it, because all these rewards are all cosmetics. No, they're not weapons. None of it's armor. It's all purely cosmetic. Ships, sparrows, emotes. So it's just, again, you're not paying to win. You're just paying to look prettier or drive a nicer vehicle. That's it.
Yeah. This is your weekly rundown of Season 23, Week 8, Season of the Wish. The Dreaming City this week is at a weak curse level, which means Petrovenge can be found in the Strand, and has the Broken Courier mission for the next week. The Blind World features Scorn enemies and the Plague, Sicarus and Varicus. The Ascendant challenge this week will be the Agadon's Abyss, which can be located over in the Bay of Drowned Wishes Lost sector. On the Moon, the weekly story mission is Beyond. The Trove Guardian is located in Archer's Line, while the Wandering Nightmare is the Nightmare of Zortal in Sorrow's Harbour. Nightmare hunts Crota, Despair, Omnigul, Anguish, and Fanatic Insanity. On Europa this week, Credis the Dark Priestess will be the Empire Hunt, Eventide Ruins will be the Eclipse Zone, and the Exo Challenge will be Survival. Days of Eternity legendary rounds are Cabal, Taken, and Crota. The Scatterhorn armor set and the Lightkin armor set will be available in Days of Eternity with Weapon Set 3, Chroma Rush, Ignition Code, Grid Skipper, Farewell, Sonja's Tale, Shattered Cipher, Main Ingredient, Long Shadow, Last Dance, Toil and Trouble, Wishbringer, and Last Perdition. The Witch Queen weekly story mission is The Cunning, Altar of Reflection's Choice, and Altar of Reflection's Insight. The Lightfall weekly mission is Downfall, the Partition mission will be Backdoor, and the Vex incursion this week will be Zephyr Concourse. The Crota's End raid challenge this week is the second encounter, Cross the Bridge, called Precarious Balance. The Root of Nightmares raid challenge this week is the third encounter, Macrocosm, called Cosmic Equilibrium. The Kingsfall raid challenge this week is the fifth encounter, Oryx, called Hands Off. The Vow the Disciple challenge this week is the fourth encounter, Rogue, called Looping Catalyst. The Vault of Glass challenge this week is the first encounter, Confluxes, called Wait For It. The Deep Zone Crypt challenge this week is the second encounter, Atrax 1, called Copies of Copies. And the Garden of Salvation challenge this week is the second encounter, Spy Defense, called A Link to the Chain. Your Pinnacle raid will be the Last Wish over on the Dreaming City, which means all challenges will be available for each encounter, with the Exotic Fusion Rifle 1000 Voices being farmable from the final boss. The Pinnacle Dungeon will be the Duality over on the Derelict Leviathan on the Moon, and the Exotic Mission Rotator will be Presage, with the Dead Man's Tale Exotic Scout Rifle being the main reward, the Season of the Haunted and Opulent weapon sets, plus the Eidolon Pursuant armor set. This week's challenges are Better Half, Nest Egg, Ritual Ornament, Taking All Challenges, Fleeting Glory, Life Dispersion, and Kinetic Forces. Lost Sectors, Tuesday Concealed Void on Europa for exotic helmets, Wednesday Thrillerdrome on Neptune for exotic boots, Thursday Gilded Precept on Neptune for exotic gauntlets, Friday Scavenger's Den on the EDZ for exotic chests, Saturday Skydot 4 on the EDZ for exotic helmets, Sunday The Quarry on the EDZ for exotic boots, and Monday Aphelios Rest on the Dreaming City for exotic gauntlets. Also, this week's weapon rotation will start on set 2 on Tuesday's reset. Our 8th feature, Nightfall, will see us face off against Hymix in the Birthplace of the Vile over on the Throne World, with the loaded question Fusion Rifle being the featured weapon. The 6v6 control node will feature Control, Clash in the Party Relentless playlist, Showdown in the 3v3 playlist, and 3v3 Clash in Crucible Labs, with Trials of Osiris at the weekend, plus bonus Gambit ranks all week long. And that's it for the 8th week of Season of the Wish.
Well, there's been no, we've sort of done our report roundup with Bungie help and the Destiny 2 team telling us all about PvP. Do we have any videos this week that people should watch?
I have got a couple of videos this week, and one I missed last week from telling you guys about, which was from Fallout Plays, which was his What Does Your Exotic Say About You? So whichever exotic that you kind of main, he goes through all the exotic weapons and says something about you if you've used this. Good tongue-in-cheek video, good bit of fun. but I recommend going and watching that one. Risk Runner, just throwing it out there, compared me to Batman. So I was happy with
There
that
you go.
one. I'm Batman.
You are Batman.
I'm Batman. And the other one that I can recommend is from Nodnaz, which is why finishing times is important for kills. So these are your finishers. They run through all the finishers and say, point out which ones are good for kind of finishing enemies and doing different things. So, and which ones kind of work with your subclass and which ones work with kind of the buff. And there is a way of kind of looking through your finishers to see if they work with your subclass, because you may be able to get kind of a radiance buff as they kind of show you in the video, and see how long that you can then proc it again and again and again. So there are kind of some pluses to having a good finisher. Anything from you?
I've been watching TDT. The Dream Team has started restarted a series of I've deleted everything and I'm trying to go from 0 to Ascendant in PvP.
Yeah,
and he's been doing some streams and some videos with Ascendant Nomad, and I've just really been enjoying just his series of videos. There's one from 20 hours ago, 0 Power Gear to Ascendant Challenge Day 3. So he's been doing a couple of these. He's been streaming the gameplay, but then doing YouTube videos that are shorter, obviously. And I've just been enjoying his, because it's basically, I think he's doing his Warlock right now, and has basically deleted deleted or threw in the vault everything from the Warlock. Didn't delete the character or anything, but like it's just saying like, let me start over with. I can't remember if he started with white weapons, pulled them from the vault, or whatever he started with. And then his rule is basically I can only use things I actually received during the gameplay. So it's basically I'm running around with whatever garbage weapons I have, and then an exotic drops, let me turn that in. Then I can use that exotic. Basically, pretending like it's a brand new character.
Yeah.
And just using what he gets. And I've just been enjoying because sort of like, Kimmy Cake Style or Ascendant Nomad and TDT, all three of them I like because they sort of talk through their process. They talk through, like the gameplay. So in some cases, as it's going on, in some cases, voiceover going, well, here's what I did here. Here's why I pulled back. Here's why I made this decision. So I enjoy listening to people talking about what they're doing as they're doing it. Because again, I'm never going to be this good because I'm never going to put the time or effort in, but I enjoy just, picking up tips to go, oh, that's why you did that. Oh, that's, I would have made this decision. I can see why you did that now. And just sort of trying to keep that in my brain going, well, next time, maybe I'll be able to make a better decision because I remembered, oh, hey, here's a thing. And speaking of Kimmy Cakes Gaming, which I don't think we talked about last week, time to explain why there is no good energy pulse.
No, we haven't talked about that.
He sort of goes over why there's just no particularly good energy pulse rifles in the game for PvP, and why you should just use No Time to Explain and call it done, which I enjoyed. And there've been a couple of videos about just I think Paul Tassi did one, Dado did one about just Season of the Wish rolls, going which of these weapons should you have. I have them both on watch later list, but I haven't gotten to because I'm going. We have a very long season, and there's Season of the Wish weapons and the new or the revised Vex weapons with the leaves on them that all have fun names starting with A.
Yeah.
Going, I'm sure some of these are good rolls. I should figure out which ones I should be trying to get. But that was kind of it this week. There's not a ton happening. I would be remiss if I didn't mention Fallout did 50 games of Gambit with with Stadia time, maybe for the last time. As I guess it was one of the rewards he was doing for some I don't remember, it was some I don't know if it was a charity thing, but some reward of his go play a whole bunch of Gambit. It was either 8 hours or 50 games of Gambit, and I think they ended up playing like 9 hours of Gambit. So it's just fun. I just have fun with those videos. So that's it.
Cool.
And I know we had an email.
We did have an email
about the word vault was used, which I don't know if you want to touch on without Respawn here.
Well,
who apparently he's had a peek at your vault and my vaults.
Yeah,
but not Respawn because it wasn't working.
Yeah, I'm not happy about this.
He's been creeping on our vaults, seeing how much garbage we have in there.
Calvin, so I've happened to be looking at your vaults, not just mine, but Peroty's as well. You can't get into Respawn's because it was locked. Respawn has double security, triple security. He even forgets his own security measures, so don't worry about it. And for both of me and Peroty, he saw too many copies of the same gun, and don't argue with him. that but they're just infusion material because some were way below the power.
Mhm.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
you know,
100%. I
Yeah.
up this immediately. You'll get no arguments here.
look, if I've got 2 better devils that are only 1,600 each, don't argue with me because one comes with explosive payload and has got rangefinder on there, and the other one has got time payload and rangefinder on there. If I want to use them, I'm going to use them and I'm going to keep them because I can't get them again. So there's my excuse, Calvin. So apparently, this is why he believes that once a month we should go through and clear this. What do you say about this Peroty? This invasion of privacy we've got going on here.
I mean, it's good to have somebody, hold an intervention and go, sir, you have currently like 5 or 6 guiding sites in your vault,
Yeah.
like 4 or 5 lethal abundances. Why are they there? Because I put them there to sort out later. In absolutely no way is my vault like curated or sensical or anything. I put it there because I've got a lot of them. And then I say, let's sort them out later. Even worse, if they all have, like when we get to the guiding site, all have little thumbs ups on them. And I go, these may be identical rolls, because I'll see a roll and go, oh, I remember hearing that was good. And then I'll go back later and say, I have 4 of the exact same rolls, like 4 perks for 4 perks, like exactly matching, going, I guess I don't need 4 identical guns. And then I'll go delete 3 of them. But they live there. And the armor, we don't even speak of the armor. The armor we don't talk about because you never know what you're going to need to press the button and have D2 armor picker go, here's what you need to make this happen. So there's so many duplicates.
Look,
so many duplicates.
I know I've got 2 falling guillotines, but one of them has got Whirlwind Blade with Relentless Strike on there, and the other one has got good in the last month or so, has got Surrounded and Relentless Strike on there. So that only came, it's only because pure luck that I thought, I'll hang on to this one. You never know when Surrounded is going to be the thing. And it was like the best thing. But before that, you wanted Whirlwind Blade and you wanted Relentless Strike on there. So I've got the one that was always the best. And then the one that's kind of come up this season, or I think it was last season, for doing boss damage. It's just, there are reasons behind me hoarding some of these weapons. I mean, admittedly, when we get a new season and we get these weapons come in, and like I've got one of these Parabellum, and I'm like, is this one that I can craft? If it's not, I do like the perks on this weapon. So I end up kind of throwing stuff into the vault and going, right, so these are the perks that I like on this weapon. Can I craft it? Okay, I will keep that one in there until I can craft the weapon, because then I can go back and go, look, I like that one that had those perks, or that perk combination worked well for me in PvP or PvE, and I can then go and craft it and then get rid of the other one. So, or I'll end up with like 2 or 3 of them, and I'll go, why have I got 2 or 3 of that weapon in here? Like I've got 2 of the Appetence, which is the trace rifle.
Mm-hmm.
Now I've got one 1810, so I'm obviously keeping that one for the 1810 infusion, and then the other one that I've got at 1809 has got deconstruction and overflow on there. So I think I used that, and I was like, that works really well. So that kept it in my mind to go, right, when I get the one that I can craft, I'll craft that one, get rid of that one, and infuse the other one, if you know what I mean, because you can only craft them at 1800. So you know what I mean, but Calvin doesn't know the rhyme and the reasons behind our insanity of keeping these things. And yes, I know my vault is currently at 598. I'm not worried. And yes, I know I've got like 3 rolls of the Lethal Abundance sitting in my Hunter Postmasters. Again, I'm not bothered. They're there. I know they're there, and I'm keeping them there for just pure pleasure.
Oh, my Hunter, who is sitting at 1700 at the moment, is solely there to hold weapons that I kind of feel like I should sort out but don't want to at the moment. Like, he has 4 horror stories, a couple of cold fronts, the stupid albedo wing, 2 of those glaives, a whole number of out of bounds for some reason, and some Jurassic Greens. You know why? Because they're there. I'm like, you're just there to kind of hold on to these. I'm only at 589 of 600, and I don't remember, I got down to like 320 something before this season or last season. And yeah, like I will at some point go to D2 checklist and clean out my vault and say, let me go through here and just get rid of all the stuff. Wait, is it Teacher Shadows or is the other one? That one with the Vault Cleaner site? I was so sure, and now I'm not so sure.
I mean, and then you get things like the seasonal weapons, like the Cybermatic 5, which is the pulse rifle, which is really hard to get hold of. And I'm like, well, I keep getting these to drop, so I throw them in the vault because I haven't got a chance to kind of look at them while I'm playing the game. So I'm like, at some point, when my vault goes, you can't fit anything else in here, you're going to have to sit down for the next hour and go through and compare all of these. Then I'll go through and compare them all and go, okay, I want to keep this one, possibly that one, infuse that one, get rid of that one, then go, am I going to use that one? Go and use it. If I don't like it, shard it. Or I go, well, actually, I know I like that one. I'll have to go and use the other one. I don't like that one. And then shard it. It's like, it's a long journey. It's a long process of playing the game. And some things may be good in PvP and some things may be good in PvE. That's the problem that I have as well, is that I'm not a kind of one person avenue. I like to play the PvP. I like to play PvE. So I have various different weapons that will, I mean, Respawn said the same. He has 2 different weapons that two different things that are basically the same weapon, but they do different things in different activities. So depending on what he's got. But Calvin seems to think that we should go down the road of like the Blueberry Lounge, which is every week they kind of do their get rid of a random weapon, throwing dice and picking weapons. I would love to do that if there was a good reason behind it, but I'm not going to do it just because somebody suggests it in an email. Because
can't peer pressure Nitedemon into doing it.
No.
Okay, so no, it's Destiny Recipes. DestinyRecipes.com/vault.
Okay.
D2checklist.com does have a phenomenal gear sorter where you can go and really dig into every single perk and really look at all of the stats and all of the they call them sockets, but basically, what frame, what perks does it have? Like if you really want to dig into and compare things, and then it will also let you tag things, use like, the upgrade, keep, infuse, junk tags that will sync over to DIM, so then you can dump into Destiny Item Manager, dump these things into the game and actually delete them. None of these tools, and the Destiny recipe site says very clearly, this will not delete anything. This will not remove anything from your vault. The most you can do is tag it, which then you can hop into Destiny Item Manager or just into the game itself and, grab things out of your vault to delete. But yeah, these will not delete things. But D2 or DestinyRecipes.com/vault is really good by saying it's going to group all of your weapons by type and burn basically. So just loading up my vault, the first thing it says is, hey, here's some high impact frame plus stasis auto rifles, high impact frame plus solar hand cannon, or auto rifles. It's basically going through, it's going through the weapon types first, auto rifles, pulse rifles, but then grouping them into, hey, you don't just have 2 high impact frame plus kinetic weapons. You've got some false promises and some Lodbrok C. So just saying, here's the kind of weapon you have, and then maybe you only have one of that archetype of weapon, and you're going, well, I need to keep one of these because I might need a precision frame solar weapon, and I've got an Amit AR2, and now I'm all set. And you can set a number of things ahead of time by going what quality do I want to keep? Am I looking for god rolls only? Do I want to keep all exotics? Do I want to ignore exotics and go through? And it's about that time for me to do another cleanse. Cause I basically clean my vault at the beginning or end of each season.
Yeah.
And then just mindlessly, especially, honestly, if it weren't for the seasonal events, cause I just throw a bunch of crap in there as I get them from the seasonal events and then go out and say, okay, I've got 25, 30 rolls of things that I've gotten in the last 3 weeks. Let me go see which of these are worth keeping. If it weren't for those, my vault would be a lot tidier because I just mercilessly delete things. The number of Twilight Oaths the game has thrown at me when I was running Coil this week, and going, I'm sure you're a very good sniper rifle. I'm never going to use you. I'm not even going to look at the perks. I'm just going to delete you. The number of, I'm sure, good rolls of things I've just deleted because I just don't care would make somebody, probably Nitedemon, just weep openly. But going, I don't care. I'm not going to use you. I have one. I've got one of everything. So if I ever need the one, I probably have something that'll work. But yeah, no, life is too short and there's too many weapons.
Definitely.
But Nitedemon will not be bullied into deleting his things.
No, you can't suggest different ways of of getting hosts to pick random numbers and get me to delete that number of thing. Imagine if I randomly picked a number that was Respawn's kind of god roll thing that he wouldn't get rid of it. He'd say he might have got rid of it, but he might not get rid of it. And I think I'd be the same. If, for instance, I picked one of the guys picked a number and it happened to be my Redrix's broadsword, I'd be like, no way. Yeah. We're ending the podcast. That's it. I'm out. I'd rather delete you two than that out of my, I work for that.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it on a whim.
Right. Yeah. The number of hours you put into trying to get that thing. Yeah. I mean, the bigger issue, again, we're in a looter shooter, and this is the point we weren't making earlier. You've given us, you're throwing exotic at us, you're throwing weapons at us, you're giving us ways to do all these things. Give me a place to put them. 600 slots for every single thing across 3 characters. 3 characters, and I obviously do not even play my 3rd character. I've been putting in some decent work on the Warlock this season, so like I've actually been actively playing 2 characters. And even then, like it's my vault, I'm sure, is like 90% Titan armor. Like I have some, Warlock has exotics, but he doesn't have many legendaries. Like there's enough legendaries to sort of like fill out builds, but that's about it. It's really only like the best of the best numbers that I've been keeping, and most of that comes from Iron Banner. So I mean, again, if you're actively playing, like I don't know how you all actively play 3 characters and have enough armor for those characters. Weapons are one thing, because I mean, I think weapons I'll go through and I'll think, okay, I've cleaned out the weapons, and the number is still ridiculously high because there's so many exotics. There's so many exotic armor pieces. Most of my vault is exotic armor pieces.
Yeah,
because there's just they all have good rolls. They're just in different things. And like in the last season, I've been even more ruthless about going, no, I mean, if you're not like, I basically have a total setup in DIM going, here's the sort of resilience recovery discipline I'm looking for. And if the number is not above this, I'm deleting you. I don't care that if you're not high across those stats, or if you don't have something ridiculous like a 30 in a slot, or like, 2 20s or something, you get deleted because there's just, you're having to be more and more ruthless with what you keep because there's just nowhere to put it, and no good tools for dealing with this.
Yeah, I mean, I've stopped crafting weapons that I don't need to craft. So if Fallout or Cool Guy or True Vanguard doesn't say that I need this in my arsenal for like PvP, it stays in the crafting thing, and all the different things keep flashing at me. You've got 10 things you can craft. I'm like, yeah, I know, but I've got no room to put that thing because it'll push something else out that I want to keep, or I haven't sorted it out yet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I crafted so many things early on, and I'm probably just going to delete half of these because there's just no reason to have them. Yeah. So, vault space is a thing. It would be nice if we had some more.
Definitely. So, I guess with Respawn not being here, there's no point in actually asking more questions. Plus, we've talked about Destiny quite a bit today. So,
I think that people should have gotten their fill.
Yeah.
You know who I hope has really gotten their fill? I really hope our patrons have gotten their fill of all the
I love our
Destiny
patrons.
talk.
They're fantastic.
They're wonderful. Zep Orbit, who can't be threatened with a good time, phenomenal lad. The Otter Dance Troupe of the T-Rex King, Scarlet KM, BHS Nightcrawler, Mellow Malady, and Dedicated AM64, phenomenal dancers. You have never seen a troupe so well organized as that. And why do they dance, Nitedemon? We know why they dance. Because of all the grenades. These men and women and lovely people have taken Shax's words to heart. Carter 2782, Golden God 1562, We Noble, Basically Salt, Zombie Pops, Bernard Calant, Fire Squad 1688, and Coderson 105. Throwing so many phenomenal grenades. Welcome, Coderson, to the party. We appreciate you and all the grenades you supply.
Welcome to the chaos.
That's why our dancers dance. And Deacon, deep in the lab with Dimwee, Gravy Jeff, and PP Pipe working on that day 1 raid team. They're going to 3-man the next raid. It's going to be phenomenal. You have never seen a team so skilled and so coordinated as that. And now you've seen us, you've heard us, and next week we'll be back with whatever Destiny has for us. Yeah. Maybe with a respawn, maybe not. You never can know.
Even we don't know. We never know.
No. And
even he doesn't know.
That's half the joy. You never know what's going to happen week to week. But what I do know is going to happen is I'm going to say thank you for joining us. Your Titans are Peroty and Nitedemon. Your Hunter, sadly, working hard. Not on Destiny right now.
He says.
Because no one responds to real life. You can find our show on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, everywhere you want to go. Just type in Two Titans and a Hunter. There we are. You can email the show and should email the show at twotitansandahunter@hotmail.com. Send us your questions. Send us your ideas. Send us what you think will hope you'll get 19 minutes to delete things and he will shoot you down and we'll all have a good laugh about it. You can find this show wherever you find your podcast. Follow us on YouTube for every new episode, weekly update video, and all the live streams. I joined Nitedemon this week for some good fun over on twitch.tv/twotitansandahunter. You can also find, oftentimes, this show live streamed at twitch.tv/no-one-respawns in real life. So go there, hit the button, hit the bell, and you will know when they go live. Because when do they go live? Whenever life allows. And that's the joy. You never know. So that's why you got to hit the button and have a little pop-up on your phone and go, oh, look, they're live. I should go see what they're up to. You can go to twotitansandahunter.com to get the show, all the show notes, all the links we talk about, all the things we link to, all the videos upon tutorial upon, hey, how do I do this thing? All in the show notes, twotitansandahunter.com. And if you want to join any of our lovely patrons, patreon.com/TTAH. We love you. We appreciate you. And until next week, bye, Nitedemon.
Goodbye, Peroty.
Two Titans and a Hunter, a Destiny 2 podcast.